What's up, nootropics lovers? My name's Monsel and I'm with Nootropedia, and today I'm going to talk to you about a hot topic in the nootropics and cognitive enhancement space. I'm going to talk to you about the difference between modafinil and Adderall.
Take a photo, check me out. I just walked out of field, wipe me down. I be getting to the check, don't play around. Watch how a real nigga put it down.
Hey everybody, I am here in one of my favorite water holes in Austin, Texas, called the Barton Springs Pool. If you ever have a chance to come to Austin, you should definitely check it out. But today I'm going to tell you a little bit about modafinil and Adderall, the difference between these two prescription drugs, and which one you might want to start with if you want to use one of these. Now, the first thing that I want to mention is both modafinil and Adderall are prescription drugs, and they have serious side effects and should be only used if you have a prescription from a doctor. I want to be clear, I am not a doctor. I'm not trained and licensed in any type of medicine, so speak to a doctor before you make any final decisions. That being said, there are a few things that we absolutely know about modafinil and Adderall that can help you to make better decisions if you are planning on using one of these drugs for off-label use to improve concentration, focus, or mental performance. Now, first is Adderall is an amphetamine-based drug, and Adderall is similar to Vyvanse, Ritalin. Many of these amphetamine-based drugs operate on the dopaminergic and adrenergic systems, which means they flood your brain with dopamine and adrenaline, and they are essentially high-powered stimulants that help you to focus and concentrate on whatever work that you're doing. Now, technically, modafinil is not an amphetamine. In fact, it is considered a drug for narcolepsy and termed a wakefulness enhancer. Now, for a lot of people, the effects between modafinil and Adderall are similar, but there is one commonality between the two. According to Dr. Andrew Hill, a neuroscientist in Los Angeles, these are not nootropics. Both of them are high-powered stimulants with significant risks of side effects, which takes them out of the nootropic class. They'd be considered either smart drugs, cognitive enhancers, or just merely stimulants. So unlike other nootropics or smart drug compounds, we actually do have a few studies comparing modafinil and Adderall specifically. In one study of military personnel who were sleep deprived for 64 hours, the study showed modafinil was as effective as a comparable amount of amphetamines to improve wakefulness, mental alertness, and mood over this period. So for people who are sleep deprived, amphetamines like Adderall and modafinil work very similarly. Another study of modafinil and Adderall showed that modafinil, while it does impact the same regions of the brain as Adderall, actually works a little bit differently and causes less euphoria and therefore less addiction potential. So essentially, modafinil can be used by people with less of a chance that they will start using it in an addictive way, using it to simply feel good or using it for other off-label purposes. So in that way, modafinil is technically safer according to that study. Now, the interesting thing is modafinil has numerous studies by itself that are related for this comparison. One study showed modafinil could improve ADHD symptoms by 48% over a 6-week period. Now, people who are diagnosed ADHD and get Adderall have some hope that perhaps modafinil could be an alternative if they wanted something that was a little less powerful. Another study showed that modafinil could help to improve symptoms and cognitive abilities of methamphetamine addicts who were recovering. So there is a similar function with modafinil for helping people who have been using an ADHD medication. Now, if you had any doubt about whether you wanted to use modafinil or Adderall, there is a clear distinction, which is the reason why modafinil is considered the darling of Silicon Valley and is becoming one of the most used nootropics, and it's because studies show modafinil can improve working memory, and that is associated with creativity. So people find that modafinil not only helps them focus and concentrate, but can also improve their level of creativity and reasoning, and that is a pretty rare combination. Most drugs either help with focus, concentration, which is very linear type thinking, or very vertical thinking, or creativity, which is very kind of horizontal thinking. The thought that modafinil could do both is very enticing for a lot of people and is one of the reasons why it's so well used. So guys, another study, just a little bit more precaution for you, another study showed that Adderall had a significant chance of withdrawal symptoms and tolerance, whereas modafinil did not have that problem. Numerous studies show that modafinil tolerance is something that users don't really have to worry about. Now, I will say from anecdotal experience, I do become tolerant to modafinil using it too often, but in general, the studies show there's less risk. So guys, as far as the modafinil versus Adderall comparison is concerned, I would say avoid both if you can, especially if you're not prescribed either of these drugs. While Adderall technically seems to be the more dangerous one, if you look at many of the anecdotal reports, people often have side effects such as headaches, nausea, rashes, skin issues with modafinil as well. Some people even claim the side effects of modafinil are greater than Adderall. So just keep that in mind. Both of these are high-powered stimulants, not something to be messed with, and definitely not something to be taken lightly. If you are going to take one, my suggestion would be modafinil, and it would be to cycle off heavily when you are using it, so maybe once a week, once a month even, just to focus on very specific types of tasks. But if you've been diagnosed with ADHD, or you are trying to improve your focus and concentration without using a high-powered stimulant, you want to consider a few different options. Now, first of all, you want to make sure that you find out what is the cause of your ADHD symptoms. For some people, in fact, according to numerous studies, something as simple as L-theanine, an amino acid that is thought to improve relaxation and calm, can improve symptoms of ADHD. Other studies of magnesium glycinate, which is just a basic nutrient that we need for our daily functions and about 200 enzymatic actions, there are studies that show magnesium glycinate can actually improve symptoms of ADHD in certain people. So it might be that you are in need of a amphetamine-based drug like Adderall, but it could also mean that you are either deficient in magnesium or lacking in some other type of resource that your body and brain just don't have enough of. So whereas most people want to immediately go to a stimulant in order to focus and concentrate better, there are a lot of problems with doing that, even with something as simple as caffeine, because there's always side effects. So try and bear in mind, you don't always have to go for the high-powered stimulant if you have trouble with focus and concentration. Sometimes it's a matter of getting the right nutrients in your system that can help you. So guys, that's it for today. If you want to learn more, I have an Adderall alternatives post. You can read that right here. Go ahead and click the link right here. You'll be taken to the Adderall alternatives page. It doesn't have a bunch of information about the different nutrients you might be missing, so I'll just run off a list of them right now. Make sure you have enough magnesium. You can take magnesium glycinate. Make sure you have enough choline. You can take CDP choline because numerous studies show that that can improve symptoms of ADHD. So with those two, you'll at least have a couple of options you can try that don't include stimulants, high-powered nootropics. Anyway guys, if you want to read more, go ahead and click right here, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.
Uchi Polo, take a photo, check me out. I just walked out of field.